What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hardcore Fab Shop. I am Anthony Bronner, and on today's video, we're going to be back to work on Old Crow. And in this video, we're going to cross off all of the fab work that's left to do on the truck. That's going to be awesome because we're going to get our first glimpse of what Old Crow is going to look like when it's all done. So stick around because you're not going to want to miss this one. So one of the major things that we've got left on the truck is finishing up the hood, so let's just get started. Alright, so next up on the list, I need a little bit of clearance right here for when this arm and that shock is fully extended. I knew this was going to be a problem from day one, but I didn't know how much clearance I was going to end up needing in here because I didn't have everything all lined up. So now that the hood and body line is all lined up and everything is mounted, I can see exactly what I need here to be able to clearance this. So I'm going to knock that out real fast and then we'll be on to the next thing. How about that? We got Old Crow doing the Carolina squat, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it's a really retarded thing that people do with four-wheel drive trucks. Anyways, I just want to show you guys how much travel is actually in that suspension when it's aired up all the way. You can see there's probably 9 inches or so there from the ground to up to where that bottom mount's at. And when this thing lays out, it really gets that mount real close to being on the ground. So got a lot of travel in this thing, and that's with the back down, of course. And now we've got the suspension all clearancing the hood, and I've got to do something to get that all boxed in because right now it still has just the hood tacked onto those mounts. I'll lift this thing up for you. Sorry, video quality is crap. I needed both hands. There we go. Got that thing down to the front. Front of the hood is actually sitting on the axle now. It does not sit on the arms, and when the arms are all the way up. Anyways, you can see here I had to cut all this stuff out, and now the hood is really floppy. And I've only got a couple tack welds here. You can kind of see them in there that are actually holding this thing on. So I need to get some bracing in here to brace this thing all up, and I need to cap all this off right here where I just cut all this out. So I'm gonna knock that out now. Sweet, got that done. Now I need to actually start working on some more bracing up here for these supports that come down. I want something that kind of mimics this shape of the hood here a little bit, but then it's also going to give this thing a little bit of rigidity from side to side, so I don't have much room there to walk around. Alright, break away from the truck for just a second because this is really kind of weird. Come in the office here to get on the computer, edit the little bit of video that I just shot for you guys, and I look out front and there is some really weird things in my parking lot, so let me show you. It's raining today, and I have random turkeys just hanging out in my parking lot. How weird is that? Alright, nope, no big deal. Just thought I'd share with you guys. Back to the truck. Well, I think that's looking pretty awesome right through there. That pretty well wasted my whole entire day today, but I've got that all looking pretty good. I'm real happy with the way that's turning out. Got that over there on the other side as well. Alright, so here it is on the truck. Everything is looking good. I really do like the way that kind of just comes in together there with the hood. Kind of makes it all look a little bit more finished. Anyways, moving on now, I am going to go ahead and do the headers. Tip the hood up here out of the way. I need to get those, get that oil can out of the hood, and I need to get those headers cut off. I need to go ahead and get my plate stuck on here that's actually going to tie these all together and get those all spaced right. I've actually now bumped like that one a little bit with my leg, messing around with it, and kind of got that out of whack. But before I do that, I need to throw some bolts up there in the top so that I can make sure that all that is the way it needs to be before I go ahead and put a plate on there. Well, that turned bad real quick. Apparently, I got a little bit excited when I was putting those on there, and I've got those flanges on upside down. I cannot get the plugs in there. So this is not going to work, so I'm going to have to tear this side completely back apart, start over from scratch basically, and then go ahead and make my plates. Well, I made my first cuts there, like you've seen, on the headers, and I decided I would just kind of take it in steps and stages. We can all look at it and kind of see, and we can all kind of learn from it and see what different stages look like different things, because I think I'm going to end up cutting it off right there where that die mark is on that bend. Although, I've cut it now, and I'm already kind of regretting it. I was really kind of liking the way they were sticking up there the more that I looked at it. As ridiculous as they were, I mean, part of the reason why I liked them is because they were so ridiculous. So, I don't know. Need to look at this for a minute now and see if I'm if I'm done or if I need to go ahead and continue on with what I was thinking originally. So, I don't know. Give me a second. We'll see what happens. That is with them cut off a little bit more in line with the edges of the tires, and actually I kind of like that pretty good. Definitely could see keeping that there. I wish that it just didn't have those marks in there from the dies, so I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and just keep cutting on it and live with the consequences later. We'll see what happens, I guess. Alright, that's got them all cut off a little bit more even, and I've got to be honest with you, I don't think I like it being even nearly as much as I did with it being tapered just a little bit. But too late to go back now, obviously, so we're just going to keep cutting. Well, this is where I was figuring we'd end up at, so I don't know. What do you guys think? They don't stick out past the rear, of course. They barely stick out past the front. So I think we're pretty good there as far as width goes. You do not see my mark there anymore from where the bender was on there. So that die mark is gone. And on the other end, we've got covered up with that plate, so that makes that look a lot better. Look good from the side, no question about that. I think I'm digging it for the most part. I might go ahead and come in here and maybe just put kind of just a little bit of a taper on these. Well, I decided we need just a little bit more flare on here, so I added one more bracket. And I was going to originally grind all of these spot welds down, but I think they're actually going to be kind of cool if I just leave them. So I'm going to just probably brush off the dirt and let them rust up. So I think that'll be kind of cool. Went ahead and tapered these just a little bit. I didn't taper them a bunch, but they aren't just straight across anymore. You kind of get a reference point there. Believe it or not, I think we're at that point where I can actually pretty close to say that fab work is done on this thing. Now, I do have the strut to put in for the headers, and I have a couple other little tabs, a couple other little brackets and things here and there that I need to do. And there probably is going to be some fab work on the interior of this thing, but I think I'm at the point where I can pretty well say that fab work is done on the truck. And I think we're going to be to the point now where I can tear this thing apart and actually start doing final assembly. Clean up the rear end, go through all that kind of stuff, start plumbing, start wiring, and actually assembling things that'll be on here now permanently. So we shouldn't have to tear this thing apart anymore, so I think that's pretty awesome. So I can give you guys a little better idea of what it looks like here. That is probably not going to change as far as anything from there on as far as looks goes, you know, of structure, of shape, and size, and all that kind of stuff. We're done. So that's a pretty awesome spot to be in. I'm excited for that because that means that we're not that far away from being able to have this thing running. Now, obviously, I still got a ton of work left to do because to go through and paint the chassis, wire plumb everything, and all that kind of stuff, do the final welds on a few things that I need to do on final welds and all that, is still a ton of work. So you guys got to bear with me on that, and a lot of that's going to be a little bit boring and tedious stuff, so I don't know how much of that I'm going to share with you guys. But I am going to keep you guys posted on everything that's happening with the truck, of course. And I've got some exciting news coming up for you probably in our next video or so on our next project that we're going to be starting after Old Crow. So make sure that you're looking for that because that's pretty cool. If you guys are following me on Instagram, Facebook, any of that kind of stuff at Hardcore Fab, you might have already seen some of that stuff. So keep an eye out, and we'll be back to work on this thing here pretty quick and trying to get this thing knocked out. And like I said, be sharing with you that new project. So I guess that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you in the next video.